I'm live on TikTok. Remember I told you I was doing this? I'm so excited. I am talking today about money, money issues, money stories, money in business. And that is my topic today that I am going to, yeah, that's right, money. Money's hard. Money is really hard. We all have money stories. We all have money issues. We're all in an economy right now dealing with lots of money stuff happening. So I wanted to take a beat today and talk a little bit about that. I'm putting together some talks and some content and some freebies. I was talking earlier this week, I can't even remember, about budgeting, budget worksheets. I mean, like sexy shit on my channel. Okay, we're talking about budget worksheets. Forgot yesterday. I was like, yeah, we're talking about like boring stuff on my channel. But like we have to. If we don't talk about money, then we are not going to get further. Okay. There is a great book that I read. Oh gosh, it must have been over a year ago now, but it was called Get Rich Lucky Bitch. I needed that book. I needed it right when I was really trying to figure out how to monetize myself, because as a small business owner, as a founder, as somebody who has come from years of corporate where I understand salary. Okay. Like I understand how much I deserve to earn. I understand years of experience. I understand in the corporate world what I'm supposed to earn from a salary perspective. Right. But then you switch to becoming a small business owner and it's hard, man. I look at a lot of people who've been doing this for a long time, and think to myself, but you've been a small business for so long. How could you not also understand your money? And then I started working with small businesses and y'all, like, come on. How do you not know your money? I mean, yeah, like working with this local business where they were putting together rate cards. And I was like, how do you not know what's your most profitable product? Like basic stuff, because they were not tracking from what was selling the most and then what was actually getting the most profit margin, because they weren't even looking at the money. They weren't even looking at the money. Like the budget stuff that I asked this person, and as you can tell, I'm being very generic about they and them and what it is, because it was shocking that this person had been in business for, I mean, over 10 years and had done really well and has, a great product. And digging into the money, I was shocked that I was like, what are your business expenses? Couldn't even answer basic questions like, what are your business expenses? What are the things that you are spending the most money on as a business? And they didn't really know. And then I said, okay, well, like, let's start from the basics. Like you can write off your phone bill. You can write off your rent for your office space. This office space that I'm in, right, goes on my expenses, things like that. And their answer was, well, my husband also has a business, so it's on their business. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, that's at least an answer. That's at least an answer. So I was like, okay, we'll take it. But also, if that isn't your initial like first answer, then you don't understand your money. You see what I'm saying? Like that should have been the first answer, is like that comes out of a different line of P&L for our overall household money. That comes out of this part of the business. And then this is what I cover. Know your money. So that is a big question that I'm talking a lot to my clients about. What does your money look like? Money stories. So basic foundational things. I mentioned this on a live that I did last week, and somebody actually said that they'd be interested. So I'm putting together a budget sheet for everyone, a freebie to start with. Okay. But it's things like, I want you to just think about these things. Okay. Do you have all of your business expenses lined out? Do you have a spreadsheet where you understand what money is going out? I mean, for example, ChatGPT. Are you paying for Pro? Okay, then that's $20 a month. That needs to be in your spreadsheet. Like little things, knowing what all of your money is, what all of your business expenses are, is going to help you understand how much money you need to charge for your packages. Okay, so I get this a lot. Okay, so let's take a step back and tell you a different story about a client that came to me that is a law firm. Okay, and they don't know budgets. They don't know how much something's going to cost. They don't know until they dig in. I understand that. And I understand that for all kinds of businesses. You don't understand until you get in how much it's going to cost. Same with mine. However, as a consumer, confused minds don't buy. Okay, so you have to be specific and prescriptive in what kinds of budgets people can expect when they work with you. Well, how can you put that together if you don't understand what are the things that you're offering? What things are in your packages? Okay, so this law firm, right? They're like, we don't know. We don't know what it is. We don't know until we get into the call. And I said, okay, well then, can we at least sell an assessment? Okay, so an assessment is a great way to get that initial money coming in from a customer. It's also called an intro offer. So I can go through it a different time, like the different types of offer ladders and the different types of offers that you have. So an assessment is an intro offer. How do you connect with a customer, a potential customer, and you assess their business and where they're at and where they want to go, and then you can put together a cohesive offer, right? So that's your intro offer. How do you know what to charge on the intro offer if you don't understand your money? Yes, exactly. So if your intro offer is, thank you, Robert. See, people ask me questions. I'm going to answer questions. I encourage everyone to ask me questions. So offer ladder. So your offer ladder is a way to get people in the door and understand your offers clearly on your website, generally speaking. Okay, these don't have to be specific, but it needs to let people understand what kinds of things they can expect to spend with you, because a confused customer doesn't buy. Okay, so how do we make it clear for them? How do we make it super fucking clear for a potential customer? Put it on your website. Okay, so step one is your assessment. Step one is your intro offer. What does that intro offer look like? If you're high ticket, an intro offer could be anywhere between $500 to $2,500. That could be your intro offer. Okay. Mine, I've played around with $800. Apparently 8 is like a bad number when you price things. I don't know. I thought 800 was a good number, but so now it's $797. $797 is my intro offer. But I know people that charge $1,500 for an assessment. I know people that charge $300 for the assessment. Okay, it just depends on what your customer base, and also your money. What do you need to fill? Okay, so intro offer, assessment. And again, I'm talking high ticket specifically here. So you have a high ticket offer. You want to get somebody in the door. You want to get them to understand you. To get them to know, like, and trust you, you need to understand their business, right? So that's your intro offer. Now, the next part of your offer ladder is step 2. Now, I apply the intro rate if they buy with me. So if they upsell into my high ticket, I apply the $800. Okay, so that gets them, incentivizes them to do this intro offer with you and to activate with you on your high ticket. So with your high ticket, you have a core offer. Okay, your core offer, mine is like $10,000. Okay, $10,000 is my core offer. Most people need what's in my core offer, and some people need a less, some people need a little more. Okay, so when I've done reels or content around, like, I did a 15-minute proposal because I don't have a proposal. Go to my website. I have 3 offers. Right? I have a middle offer, a core offer. I have a downsell, and I have an upsell. So most likely, I'm going to tell you that what you need is going to fit into one of those offers. Okay, that's my packages, and that's how you package into a basic high ticket offer ladder. Okay, so your intro offer and then your high ticket. And then I apply the $800 to the $10,000. Now it becomes moot, right? It becomes like, oh, that's a good deal. I'm going to get in. I'm going to understand the assessment. I'm going to understand what I need out of my business for $800. And then they already know on my website that I'm probably going to be around $10,000. But in the assessment, it goes through what they really need in their business. Okay. So it's really understanding who they are, what they need, and how to get them where they want to go. Okay. So that's a whole other thing, is talking about your intro offer, what goes into that assessment. But how do you price that? Okay. How do you price your high ticket offer? How do you price your intro offer? And then that's not even talking about freebies and low ticket offers and getting people into your funnel. Okay. That's a whole other video. But when you're trying to put together, what are you going to charge? Okay. You have to back into, what do you need to make? And you don't know what you need to make unless you put together your budget. So going back to the very start of this video is, what does your money look like? These are money stories, and they're things that we tell ourselves that's like, I don't want to look at that. Okay. I don't want to look at the money. I don't want to know, what do I need to spend? How much am I spending on stuff? Okay. There's tons of tools out there, right? Like, I paid for QuickBooks for years. I fucking hate QuickBooks. They can suck it. I am not going to pay for QuickBooks anymore. I say that now. I could change my mind, but they're made for bigger businesses. Okay. They're made for enterprise, right? Like, they're made for bigger businesses, not for me. I hate QuickBooks. So there's other tools out there that you can use for this, like HoneyBook as an example, things like this. I just started using Monarch Money this year because I wanted to just have a better tool to help me auto categorize stuff, but I don't use it. I don't use it. I use Excel. Okay. Like, I use basic, old school, okay, Google Docs. Google Docs, to me, I understand it. It's clear. It's easy. I can access it. I have it saved as a little favorite, right? So it's always in my browser tab. I know exactly where my budget sheet is. Okay, my budget sheet, I check it every month. I see where I'm at with my money, what expenses came in, what are the things I need to pay for, what are some subscriptions I added on that I'm like, I really need to cancel that. Okay, so like, for example, just yesterday, I canceled my Slack channel. I had this big plans to create a Slack community, and I bought Slack, and I was like, I'm going to play with this. I'm going to mess around with it. And I wasn't using it. I was not using it. And I was like, this is $5 a month. Like, it seems silly. Like, okay, $5 a month here, but $5 a month here, $5 a month there. We all have these little subscriptions. What are we actually using it for? Okay. I would rather pay for my check mark on Instagram, which I don't pay for. But these things are like, here and there. What are the things that you're paying for? Where's the money going? Okay. What are the things that are going out? And this is money stories. Okay. So I'm going back to this book that I read about a year ago, and it was called Get Rich Lucky Bitch. Love this title. I need to write a book about this. Okay. This is like the direction I want to go. But essentially, what I took away from this for me personally was like money stories that we tell ourselves, money issues, scarcity mindset. And it all stems from, one, not knowing our money. Okay. If we don't know our money, how do we know what to charge? How do we know how many clients we need to get in a year? How do we know what do we need to back into? What are the costs? What are the costs to sell what I sell? I don't design. I'm not a designer. I like to think that I am sometimes, but I'm not a designer. Okay. I pay a designer. So that's a cost. That goes in my cost of goods sold. That doesn't go into my profit. Right? Like, just that in and of itself. I feel like so many business owners that I talk to are like, oh my God, how many times I've heard like, well, I have $3 million in revenue last year. You know, I heard a woman say that to me, and I was like, that's fake. That is fake. And we were out to lunch, and I was in Texas visiting my best friend. I'm from Texas originally, but live in LA now, love LA. I was in Texas visiting my best friend, and we went to lunch with this woman, lovely woman, really put together, has a very successful business. And we were just going to network and, like, meet people. And we go to lunch with this woman. Again, she's a lovely human, great time. But I left that lunch and I told my best friend, I was like, she's full of shit. And my best friend was like, what do you mean she's full of shit? And I was like, she's full of shit because she said, like, she kind of drops in there, well, my business did, I don't know, 10 million in revenue last year. That's a bullshit number. Okay. And like, if you're dropping that in conversation, you're doing that to make yourself look better. Okay. By dropping those kinds of numbers. And number two, revenue doesn't, whatever. I could say I did $1 million in revenue. What are the costs? What's the net? Okay. If you have costs to run your business, which we all do, then you say I did this much revenue in a year. I would say that's a red flag. Okay. So, I mean, say that all day long. go talk about it. Get more clients by saying we did, 3 million in revenue. I get that. But if you're having a real conversation with somebody that is like a real, like, we're talking about business, then I want to know, like, what is the net? What is your actual, why am I blanking on the word? Somebody help me. Not revenue. Your gross revenue, it's your net income. Your net income. Net income is totally different. Okay, so how do we know what our net income is if we're not tracking our expenses? So I know this is super boring. And people are like, really, why am I coming to this channel? What is this woman talking about? I talk about marketing, I talk about money, and I talk about how to make more money. Okay, but if we can't make more money if we don't know our money stories. So I'm going to again go back to this book. I'm reading this book and I'm loving what this woman is saying. I should get some sort of affiliate link for this book, but Get Rich, Lucky Bitch. And she talks about how, and a lot of people talk about this, people who win the lottery lose it all. Okay, why do they lose it all? Why do people who win the lottery lose it all? Because they don't understand money. They don't know how to spend it. They don't understand. They don't like the feeling of having all that money doesn't feel good, and they give it all away. They spend it all on a bunch of garbage and they give it all away. So we have to get comfortable with our money. Okay, we have to understand and love and feel comfortable with money. And that's how we get the money in. And that's not just in this book. That's just like being a part of the world of understanding money and how to grow money and how to be wealthy. Okay, so this is all mindset shit. It's really fucking hard. I equated this on a call once with somebody where we were talking about how we're growing in our business. Okay, we're growing in our business. We're making more money. We're getting more comfortable with our lives. It's my good friend Jake, and he was talking about buying a couch. And it was the first time he just moved into his own apartment. His business was doing well. He's an excellent designer and developer. I need to have Jake on this channel with me. Jake's fantastic. And his business is doing so well and he's so successful. And he's like, I really want to buy a new couch for my apartment. Like, I feel like I've earned this. I've got that next step. And then he was talking about like, but why does that feel uncomfortable? And I'm like, dude, I get it. Okay, I get it. Because every time you get something of success, you're climbing another stair. Okay, so think of that as another ladder, but like as a staircase. Okay, and each time you earn more, each time you gain more, each time you get more, you have to balance on that step again. You do. You have to like figure out how to be comfortable with that money coming in. You have to be comfortable with like success. And the only way to be comfortable with that success is to understand your money, to feel the money, to understand what that feels like, get comfortable on that step in order to move to the next step. Okay. And that's a great example of why they say people who win the lottery, like they lose it all. They can't keep it because they don't understand that feeling of just running up the stairs. And then they don't like it. They don't like the feeling of it. And then they fall off the staircase because they don't feel comfortable up there. Okay. So I want to like close out this live today. Again, we're starting to talk about money. I want to talk about budgeting and expenses. Like, if you don't understand your money, how do you know what to charge so that you can make more money? Okay. So the first step is, and I need to put this together. This is on me. I said I was going to do this last week and I didn't get to it. Working on a client deliverable. I have a call today. Hopefully it all goes well and I get to close out this project, which I'm really excited about. But okay, so I'm working on client stuff all week. I did not get to it, but I want to create a budget sheet. And if not, ask ChatGPT for one. You don't have to wait for me. Ask ChatGPT for one. But budget sheet to understand your profit and loss and your balance statement. Okay, those are two different things. I didn't fucking know that when I started business. But what are your expenses? Okay, and what is your profit? So your profit and your loss on your documents. Okay, I know this is boring shit, but the next step is then understanding how to get comfortable in the money. Okay, how do we have an abundance mindset? How do we get through getting that next thing? Okay, and a great tactic that I've heard so many different places, but what I do is I go walk the neighborhood of the house I want to buy. Okay, in the morning. Now we've been doing this for 9 months. We're in October. So we've been doing this all year. My husband and I, we take our child to school. The school is in this amazing neighborhood and we want to live there someday. We want to own a house in that neighborhood. It's very close from our house because obviously our son goes to school there, but it's literally like a different, right? We all know those neighborhoods where you live on the edge of the neighborhood, but you don't live in that neighborhood because the one street divides from one neighborhood to the next neighborhood. Okay, that's where we are. So we go walk that neighborhood. We take our little dog, we walk around and we live that life. Okay, this is where we want to live. And we look at the houses and we see what it's like and we feel what that feels like. Okay, so what does that feel like? And then that means once we get on that step, we're going to be balanced. It's going to be balanced because we're going to know what that feels like because we've made ourselves comfortable in that world. So a good example or a good tactic could be this weekend, go to one open house. Go to an open house. Go walk into a dream house and just go look at it like you're shopping for it, like you could live there and go see what that feels like and report back. Tell me that did not just inspire you to get to that next step, to feel like once you got on that step, that it feels comfortable and you feel balanced on that step as you keep doing this, as you keep going. So that would be my tactical advice to you this weekend. Go walk one open house in your dream neighborhood and just go like you're shopping. They don't know. They don't know if you can afford it or not. Who cares? Who cares? What do you want? Where do you want to go? Vision it. Vision board it, go walk it, go do it, right? And then thinking about the money is how do you get there? And what are your expenses now? What do you need to charge? And how do you get where you want to go? Okay. I'm rounding out the rest of this live. So thank you all so much for joining me. I'm getting so much love on TikTok. This is amazing. I'm so excited to be going live. Next week, I am also going live pretty much every day for starting at around 9:30 to 10 o'clock, except for Tuesday. I have a mom thing, but I'm really excited to continue these conversations and to help people feel like they can understand marketing, money, business. That's what I'm going to be talking about on here. So ask me questions, please. Help me get content and follow me because the more followers I get tools like captions. Can you guys believe I can't add captions to my videos because I don't have enough followers? Like, come on, these tools are ridiculous. So thanks, Rob. I'm glad. And so follow me, join in on my lives, 9:30s weekdays, and have a great weekend and report back to me if anyone went to an open house and what that felt like. Okay, message me, whatever. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.